And now, the general weather around Alaska.
First, still have a winter weather advisory going here for the western Arctic coast for tonight until 6 a.m. Monday morning for blowing snow due to winds gusting to 45 miles an hour and creating visibilities down to a quarter mile or less at times. Otherwise, moving on to the satellite imagery, you can still see here clouds moving northward across the southeast coast. They're bringing rain and showers there today. Some of that pulling westward along the North Gulf Coast as it has been, with some light shower activity across the Sound and into eastern Turnagain Arm. And a little bit of moisture spreading up over the eastern interior, and then a little bit here just south of the Central Brooks Range location. Out to the west, see a very weak system here just south of the western Aleutians. A little bit more widespread cloudiness with some areas of rain here over the Pribilof Islands. There actually light snow there and mixed precipitation for the eastern Aleutians. You see this really fades out as a loop wears on there. So whatever rain and showers were going earlier about ended there for the eastern Aleutians into the Alaska Peninsula. Some pretty good clearing occurring over Bristol Bay in toward Kodiak Island, and a lot of clouds with some clearing over the interior. On the chart today, pretty quiet weather pattern out over the Bering Sea continues there, as well as the Aleutians with light winds and just some scattered shower activity out that way. Areas of light snow in Nunivak Island, but not bad up through the northern Bering Sea into the Chukchi Sea. Still looking at those gusty northeast winds with still looking at some low visibilities there for the western Arctic coast, particularly around Point Lay. Otherwise, not too bad off to the east. Some areas of light snow here over the northeast part of the state, and mostly cloudy skies, south central Alaska. Shower activity again from eastern Turnagain Arm, Portage, possibly Girdwood, eastward there onto the North Gulf Coast, and then down the Panhandle there with that weak trough for tonight. And moving on to the forecast for tomorrow, we'll see another trough, keeps it cloudy and occasionally wet there for the Panhandle. Just looking at some light rain and snow showers for the North Gulf Coast, and light snow continues there over the eastern interior, very light snow, and otherwise some very quiet weather pattern continues for the interior here. Diminishing winds there for the western Brooks Range, western Arctic coast throughout the day. Areas of light snow, St. Lawrence Island down along the southwest coast. Otherwise, no change. Light winds for the southern Bering Sea and the Aleutians out here with some widely scattered, isolated shower activity. A lot of areas won't see anything at all. And for the day on Tuesday, not much change here. Several weak low pressure areas out here, nothing strong at all. One near Kodiak Island, a little bit wetter there with some rain for the island there, Kodiak, up along the southern Kenai Peninsula. This trough kind of increasing the precipitation again for the North Gulf Coast. No change over the interior, except now the snow shower activity off into Canada, leaving a very nice day for Tuesday over, well, from the Arctic coast all the way down into Cook Inlet. Picking up, probably be a cloudy day here, mostly cloudy for Cook Inlet again, but look for more sun breaks out over the areas west of the Alaska Range. Warm front down here with the next system we'll see pulls northward here and bringing a big increase in the winds here, as well as the precipitation for the North Gulf Coast. Look for gale force winds there along the central and south coast of the Panhandle, with good shot of rain moving in with this front, especially over the central and southern southeast coast, but should be wet all the way back into Prince William Sound. The interior staying very nice, mostly clear central and northern areas all the way out to the Arctic coast. Variably cloudy to partly sunny here for the southwest interior. Narrow band of light snow shower activity or flurries there for the southwest coast into western Bristol Bay. And look for some clearing periods for the eastern Aleutians with continued light winds, as well as the Alaska Peninsula. A couple of weak lows out here over the Bering Sea, kicking off some areas of light snow and snow showers, but winds not a factor at all out in that area. Lows tonight near 10 for the Copper River Basin, 5 below to 10 above in the Kuskokwim Valley. And for the South Central Alaska area, 20s to near 30, lower 30s Kodiak Island, mid 20s Bristol Bay, and in the 30s to lower 40s for the southeast coast. Highs tomorrow in the 40s for the Panhandle, and upper 30s to lower 40s for the coastal areas here, and mid to upper 30s for South Central Alaska, upper 20s in the Copper River Basin, lower 40s, Kodiak State Airport. and upper 20s to mid 30s for Bristol Bay. And for the lows on Tuesday morning, down around 20 or so, 15 to 20 for the Susitna Valley, 20s Kenai Peninsula, actually Matanuska Valley southward into the Kenai Peninsula, 25 to 30 for the lows, 10 to 15 in the Copper River Basin, lower 30s Kodiak Island, upper 20s or upper teens to lower 20s for Bristol Bay, 30s and lower 40s for the southeast coast. And highs 40s for the Panhandle to Yakutat, and upper 30s for Valdez, upper 20s in the Copper River Basin, and in the 30s again for south central Alaska, lower 40s here for the southern Kenai Peninsula and Kodiak Island, 30 to 35 for Bristol Bay. Up to the north here, looks like lows anywhere from 15 to 25 below from the Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast, otherwise 5 below to 5 above or so, give or take here in the central interior areas, with -2 all the way down in toward McGrath and Nikolai, 2 above for St. Lawrence Island. Highs tomorrow anywhere from 5 to 15 in the central interior, staying below 0 from the Brooks Range to the Arctic coast, and right around 10 here for the Bering Strait, St. Lawrence Island, upper teens for Nome, and the lows following morning, 20 to 30 below here for the North Slope. You can see the widest area. That's if it fell to 30 below, this is where it would be. Umiat Airfield, for example, and 5 to 15 below in the central interior, 0 to 5 above out here to the west. And that'll be followed by highs anywhere from 10 to 15 in the central interior areas, chilling off to below 0 again for the Brooks Range on out to the Arctic coast. Anywhere from 5 to 15 for the Seward Peninsula. Out to the west, lows tonight in the upper teens for the southwest coast, mid-20s to the Pribilofs, otherwise 30s for the Aleutians, upper 20s to mid-30s for the Alaska Peninsula. And highs for the Aleutians tomorrow in the 30s, lower 30s for the Pribilofs, and 20s for the southwest coast. Back down into the mid-teens there for Nunivak Island, Yukon, Kuskokwim Delta coastal areas for Tuesday morning, mid-20s for the Pribilofs, upper 20s, lower 30s for the Aleutians and the Alaska Peninsula, followed by highs all in the 30s down here, right around 30 for the Pribilofs and closer to 20 there for the southwest coast.